Hey everyone, welcome to From the Depths. I'm Menti, and this is going to be episode 52 of the Battleship Brawl, but the next ship, the Grand Duchess Anastasia, that was supposed to fight, I discovered an issue with it. Something must have changed in how things are displayed, because I definitely would have noticed this when it was being put together. But what we have here is some excessive clipping. So as you can see, these things are shimmering and shaking because there are actually two different spin blocks in play here. Well, two different turret blocks. You've got the normal turret block one axis here, which is what the armor is attached to, right? This metal block is attached to that. And then, but then you come in here in the elevation only turret, select that one, and now you've got the gauge increase. What we have here is using a spin block to compact things into a shared space. This entire turret, every single one of these secondary turrets, has two blocks in every space. That is excessive clipping, and I think I didn't notice it before. There's no way that it was flickering like this. Something must have changed with the graphics, or maybe something changing in my graphics did it. But yeah, this is not acceptable. Like almost every single block on all 10 of these secondary turrets is sharing a space with another thing from another block. And with the shimmering effect, it's really obvious and ugly looking, so the Grand Duchess Anastasia is going to be disqualified. So yeah, that's why I'm starting the episode like this, just so you know why, when I move on, the next ship will not be the Grand Duchess Anastasia, because this is blatant. This is too much. Like, this is not for aesthetics. This is, you have gauge increasers, like important blocks to these guns. Even if these guns are small, they're only 730mm guns. But again, just because they are not, like, I don't even know, like, there could be more of that in some of these. I haven't gone through these and checked them all, but these secondaries are not acceptable. That is excessive clipping. That is intentionally using two different sub-objects to fuse blocks and have them share the same space. That is one of the explicit definitions of excessive clipping. So the Anastasia will be disqualified and not even get to fight at this point. Because I noticed, I started the episode and saw all of that flickering and shimmering like immediately. So I don't know what changed to expose that, because I definitely would have noticed it during the battle test. Like, there's no way you can miss that. But yeah, sorry Archangel Skinsov, but you broke a rule, and that's the end of the story. So I'm going to go ahead and do a cut here and load it up with the Danubia and its opponent. Okay folks, so here we are at the actual episode 52 of the Battleship Brawl Season 4 tournament. The Danubia by Black Hand, this will be its final episode regardless of what happens. The only question remains, does it retire as a Fallen, or does it become a champion? Helping with that decision is the GRN 3AM by Griffin 467. I like the paint job on the Griffin here, but there's not a whole lot of detail. You've got the hull shaping and sloping in the front. You've got a fantail protecting a bank of staggered height propellers. A lot of propellers. This thing might be a little bit quick, maybe not. We'll see. See how she does. Then you've got these almost like pyramid sort of slash pancake turret type things. Like, I almost would expect to see this turret shape on more like a tank. I mean, obviously it's too big for a tank, but it looks like it belongs on a tank more than a ship. And then you've got these two observation towers. Got 6 guns with 2 barrels each, so that's 12 12 guns in total versus the Danubia's 10. Though the Danubia does appear to have quite the edge in armor, seeing this is a very wooden construction. Oh yeah, and you've got all this space in here. So the Danubia definitely has the edge in armor, but we'll see if that that open space can absorb some hits and give the Griffin the durability it needs to defeat its opponent. So let's go ahead and get this battle underway. GR and 3AM firing first. Shells are pretty low, yeah. So required accuracy before firing, not set on the 3AM. Not set properly anyway. Those turrets pulled the trigger before they were supposed to, and the shells dunked into the water, allowing the Danubia to get the first strike. Which, yeah, some big holes ripped in the Griffin here. Its wooden armor does not stand up well to those explosions. Danubia taking some serious damage to its rather sturdy deck, though. It's lost 2 guns and had several breaches. The guns on the Griffin would be quite powerful. Some significant damage to the non-heavy armor portions of the Danubia's deck. But oh, that's a turret. That's a turret that fell off the Griffin. It's completely popped off, and there goes another one. And this one's damaged, disabled, really. Actually, maybe not. There might be a single barrel on there still functioning. Maybe. Oh, and the turrets in the rear just got taken down. Oh, another one pops off. The turret's proving very as fragile as the rest of the ship. And 2 of them just fell right off right there at the same time. Now the 3AM only seems to have its forward gun here still active. But since it is running directly away from the opponent, it can't turn and fire. Firing restrictions are keeping it from even attempting to aim. Oh, that is one heck of a lobbed shot there. Is that actually going to hit? Oh, yep. 3AM taking some serious damage very quickly. It does not have the armor to absorb all these hits. Oh, now it's lost some propellers. I hope the JBGs aren't in there somewhere. Because if they are, oh, yep, there is JBGs in there. That could make it not able to maneuver and turn and maintain distance. It could end up sailing out of range and getting disqualified, though at this point, the Danubia at 99.5% and the 3AM at 61.3%. As long as the Danubia doesn't get itself disqualified at the same time, it's not really going to matter. Now it seems that the 3AM has gone completely dead in the water, so at least that'll keep it from sailing out of range and getting disqualified. Fortunately, it just makes it easier to destroy. And at 56.2%, the next volley from the Danubia will probably end its misery. Oh well, or it can just get an 80% in sinking. Either way, that is the end of round 1. The 3AM is defeated. Rather handily by the Danubia. We will go ahead and get round 2 here underway. See how this one goes. It's a shame that this first volley can make a lot of difference. And yet the first shots that every single turret fires are going to miss unless they get an extremely lucky water skip. Which that one almost did, but not quite. Two of the turrets taking some big hits. All of the armor in this rear quarter getting stripped away. The hull just obliterated by the Danubia's first volley. And then here comes in the second. And that is some serious damage. But the gun did not get popped off this time. But this one is maybe one of the two barrels is still functional. Maybe. It's not functional anymore, and now this one's been damaged as well with only a single barrel still active. And then the front guns, well, the 3AM is listing heavily to the left. It's because it lost so much buoyancy from all these wooden blocks getting stripped away and damaged, while this side has very little. You have to say that the 3AM is in better condition at this point than it was in round 1, but is it enough of an improvement to make a difference? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say no, it is not. I mean, it's possible, but yeah, not likely. Take a look at the Danubia, because things are going a little bit better this time, but the Danubia does still have a pretty commanding lead. Oh, it has lost all but 3 guns. And that gun just took more damage, and that gun may have just taken a hit. Hard to tell because of the super... Oh, yep, that gun is gone. There's only 2 left. Difficult to tell because of the super obscuring smoke. Can the 3AM do enough damage to the Danubia to make up enough of that gap to get it within 5%? Because the the 3 a.m. takes a lot more damage each time it gets hit, but it has more firepower available to it still. So it is a matter of whether it can bring this to a draw or a victory in the time we've got remaining, because there's only 5 minutes left. And the Danubia lands a direct hit on that turret. Oh, yeah. That's gonna put a damper on the 3 a.m.'s chances of catching back up there. Now its firepower is also reduced. Oh, but Danubia dead in the water, and it has no materials for repairs. And nope, that front gun is still there, so it still has 2 guns firing away with those rather accurate shells. Oh, but that one detonated prematurely because of depth fuse, I think. Didn't do as much damage as it could have. Oh, but that forward gun is destroyed now as well. His rear gun is still here, but doesn't seem to want to pull the trigger. Not sure if it's damaged or a little difficult to tell. Seem to be, or actually, yeah, it is damaged. Oh, so that gun is actually disabled. So Danubia has no weapons left, and it is almost a 5% match. It is now within 5%, because the Griffin is still repairing some, while also dealing damage to the Danubia, which cannot deal damage back. So now the question is, can the Griffin do, or not the Griffin, the 3 a.m. by Griffin do enough damage in the next 3 minutes to get a victory? Because it has successfully brought it to a draw. Well, it is completely equal in hit points now, and now the Danubia is behind. Is falling behind pretty quickly. It's got just over 2 minutes left. And the 3 a.m. only has to expand the gap by 2% more. Well, now 1%. So it is gaining health and causing damage at the same time. And there we go. That is a 5% difference. It's actually no, that was exactly 5% there for a moment. There is a more than 5% difference between the Danubia's health and the 3 a.m.'s health. So, making me eat my words there, 3 a.m. I said it probably wasn't enough, and I was completely wrong. I said it wasn't likely, but it happened anyway. The 3 a.m. has come back, and what it has to do is not get itself disqualified in the next minute, which actually is impossible. So the only thing that could kill it at this point would be an 80% sinking. Anything else equals victory. 3AM might manage to get a 2 damaged on the Danubia. Nope, not gonna get that far, I don't think. Oh, there we are. That is the end of round 2 with the 3AM the victor. We're going to round 3. Except in this match there will be no 5% rule, as we're going in here tied and we need a winner, so whoever has the most HP when the buzzer sounds is the winner. Danubia, you gotta step it up, man. This is it. This is for the whole bag of marbles. It comes down to this last round. Win here, you win everything. You lose here, you lose everything. I'm not really taking a whole lot of damage from the Danubia's initial volley. Oh, well, I say that and then a turret falls off. I mean, I saw the turret was damaged and I was going to comment on it, but then it completely popped off and oh, look at that confetti. That's always fun to see. Danubia taking some hits, but weathering it okay. Wow, there's a hole all the way through the Danubia's deck, all the way through to the bottom of the ship. There was ocean there just a moment ago. That might have been... Was that through the wooden part? I'm pretty sure that was through the metal, but kind of lost track of it thanks to the overly obtrusive smoke. Danubia at 96.1%, 3AM at 84%. Oh, and it just lost another turret. Both of the forward turrets are disabled, but at this point, actually it might not be disabled, it may have just be out of its firing arc, I'm not sure. Whatever the case, this is the part that the Danubia needs to capitalize on. 3AM's giving it a nice juicy target to shoot at, while a good chunk of its guns are unable to target the Danubia. Right, this is the part where you got to do some damage. Keep the 3AM from catching you. The 3AM's got to hurry up and get out of this position as fast as possible. Keep this battle going. It is behind by 16%, which is much worse than round 2, but not as bad as round 1. I don't think. I'm pretty sure by this point in round 1, the 3AM had lost almost all of its guns, though it did just take some good hits there. Both of these turrets in the back losing at least one barrel. More hits landing on the 3AM. That gap is widening. 22%. And the 3AM is still sailing away. And it's getting awfully far. I hope it didn't lose its ability to maneuver. Well, it seems to be turning now. Takes more and more and more hits. Only this forward gun that is out of the firing arc. Oh, nope, the rear guns still have the rear turrets still have one gun left. I stand corrected yet again. Oh, that's gonna finish one turret though, I'm pretty sure. Oh, no. No. That fan, there's not much left of that fantail though. That is one high arcing shell. That is going to plunge pretty much straight down into the deck. Did that just go through the ship without detonating? Well, that's interesting. But I think the 3 AM has lost its ability to maneuver properly. The Danubia is turning to keep the distance, I believe. Yeah, it is turning to maintain distance, but the 3 AM just can't turn enough to bring its forward gun to bear, which I think just took a pretty hefty hit. So, the 3 AM has no operable guns left. Except maybe... Actually, these might... No, they're not elevating. The turret's pointing, but the gun isn't elevating. And now the 3 AM is dead in the water, so it looks like it is going to be defeated this time. Be one hell of a comeback to turn things around this go. That ought to do it. Yep, the 3 AM is too damaged. So it is going to suffer a defeat in round 3 here, which means the Danubia is victorious, giving it its 5th win, and sending it sailing into the Hall of Champions just barely, by the skin of its teeth. So yeah, folks, thanks for watching. Make sure to check the description for the Hall of Beauty votes for both of these ships, as well as all that other description-y stuff. Otherwise, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the battlefield.